Welcome to another episode of Toby's Stupid Vlog.
Hello, good morning, happy Monday. It is already. The weekend was spent mostly sleeping. I landed at 10:30 on Saturday morning and got picked up by Crystal, went home, tried to stay awake, managed that all the way through past lunchtime till about 3, and then realised I wasn't going to make it. Went to bed for a couple of hours, but in reality that turned out to be 4 hours. Got up at 7, had dinner, was awake for about 2 hours and then went back to bed. Felt a bit better yesterday. We went to Joe and Ollie's for lunch and then sort of crashed out about 9 PM. Anyway, so it's slightly weird to be back, if I'm honest, because it was such a whirlwind tour. I mean, the vlog, you'll notice, is very little of me talking and lots of views out of windows of travelling vehicles. I put this out on Twitter, but it's an interesting statistic. In 7 days, I travelled 13,000 miles, 12,000 of them by plane, 8 different planes, in fact, and 1,000 in 4 different cars. Which is also an exceptional amount of miles to drive, and we visited 9 cities, and basically I was back at Gatwick less than a week after I'd left it, which is nuts. 8 different states as well. So my brain is a little fragile, I would say, and there's still a lot of, this is still a horrible mess, so I still need to properly unpack. Hopefully, I say this, I never usually say this, but hopefully I'm not going away anywhere else this year. If I do, I'll just have to take it in my stride, I guess. But I'm kind of travelled out right now, enjoying being back. I've got to do a few errands today, not least reading a load of board papers that I've started and putting things in the post and whatnot. So I'm going to crack on with that, and I'll see you in a moment.
I recognise this whole place. I've just come back to read some board papers and look at some pictures of orchids, and plus it's a very soothing location for me, so it's quite nice outside. I've done some reading, now I need to do some walking, and I'm only really home once I'm in Kew Gardens, so it is slightly weird having been away 2 of the last 3 weeks that you feel like autumn just sort of appeared out of nowhere. Obviously in the Canaries autumn doesn't really exist at all. They sort of just really do spring and summer in alternation, and then I was back and I was working frantically that week in between, and then away in the States where obviously autumn's coming on, but it's still a lot warmer than here. So apart from the rainy day, it was like 18 degrees or more, and so when you get back and it's it's cold today, it's like highs of 8, and there's not a lot of leaves on some of the trees. It feels like you've sort of skipped a bit, which is a bit odd. Although, if I had my way, I'd skip the whole of winter, but we're not yet in that position. That looks nice, doesn't it? Love the pagoda. Looks awesome. I'm enjoying this walk. Didn't get to walk much last week. On the first day, I did a fair bit of strolling around, along the beach and what have you, and then in the early morning. But then didn't really do any more the rest of the week because we were in vehicles the whole time. So it's nice to get out and about. When cars were first invented, they were really worried about accidents, so a man had to walk in front of them with a flag to make sure that people could see them coming, because people wouldn't know what a car was. Anyway, that seems rather absurd now if you think about it, doesn't it? Because what's the point of having a car if someone has to walk in front of you? It means you're going less than walking speed. But it still happens in Kew. Every time someone has to drive down this road, there has to be a man in a high-vis jacket walking in front of the cars, which I still think is relatively hilarious. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, I'm sure I must have, but when we were kids, we used to come into Kew on a Sunday very often. So Sunday afternoon, we'd have lunch at the Pavilion restaurant, which is currently undergoing refurbishment. We'd wander around and we'd leave, 4 or 5 o'clock. And then we'd have to drive home, which is about 45 minutes from here to where we grew up. And I used to hate that feeling of walking back towards the gate when you were leaving. It'd been Lion Gate in the corner there, because it meant that when I got home there was like a couple of things on telly to watch, but then that was it, and it was bedtime and then school in the morning. And invariably, it being Sunday night, I hadn't done my homework, so that also had to be done, which was usually done I used to get up on Monday at about 6 o'clock in the morning and do it then. So there was nothing to look forward to really. So I used to walk back to the gate so slowly, such a crawl, to try and put off the inevitable. And I still get a bit of that feeling when I go towards Lion Gate, but you know, now I can just walk down the way to my flat and there's no homework to be done. Hello, happy Tuesday. So I have service delivery committee this evening. I've read all my board papers. I'm ready to go. Done a load of webvid final work on the language videos. Hopefully final. You know how you name something. You think of file names, it's like this is the final document, and then this is the final document. Yeah, we're up to about 4 finals now. Anyway, hopefully that's all done. I'm going for a bit of a walk to compensate for the lack of walking that happened during the American trip, and to try and get some fresh air whilst it's not raining, because it's autumn in the UK now and it could rain at any moment. Look, it's in Pancras. Unfortunately, as per normal, I'm not coming to get on the train. I'm coming to go to the pub. Which, I mean, it's not terrible, but, you know, I'd rather go to Paris. But anyway, I'm just waiting for Chris to arrive, so I'm just going to wander around the shops downstairs, because I very much like the St Pancras concourse. So I'm going to go and check it out.
Happy birthday, dear Tay-Tay. Happy birthday to you. Oh, I was rubbing.
Yeah, multiple angles. That's crazy. Just pour it into your mouth. Hello, happy Friday. It's very sunny and nice out until the sun sets in about 20 minutes. I'm joking, it's midday, but it does feel like it's only about 20 minutes. Anyway, because it's Friday, I think I'm going to do the word of the week first, and then we'll get to the nub of the conversation. So, this week's word of the week is going to be routine, because I've just got back into it. So the word of the week is routine. And this is by far the easiest word of the week you've ever had. So routine in German is die Routine. Die Routine. There you go, that was simple, wasn't it? And in Italian, see if you can guess what it is. It's la routine. So, I know, I'm a genius. I picked the easiest word ever. So if there's only one word you ever learned from this word of the weeks, it's routine, which is routinely routine in all languages. So the routine is die Routine and la routine. And that was this week's word of the week. So I feel finally sort of fully back in the swing, although I feel ridiculously busy, and it feels as if I've been busy solidly for 3 weeks now. I know you only ever see me when I'm sort of going for a walk, and you just think, you didn't do anything. The reason I take these walks is to break up the work, otherwise I'd go a little bit stir crazy indoors. But yeah, it has been a pretty hectic 3 weeks all in all. First of all, we had the prep week with finishing off the old project and getting ready for America, and doing all that stuff at Hammersmith at Work Life, which was good fun but exhausting. And then we had the American trip, which was nuts. I still don't know how much of it I've actually filmed, because I'm quite behind on the vlogs. I'm only just about to start editing the Canarian vlog today. And then this week has been, you know, playing catch up again on all the things I hadn't done because I've been in America. So Women in Sport conference edit, some finalising of Hellbling things, because nothing's ever finished with those, and then going into USP and sorting out the next sort of selection of things I'm going to be doing, and meeting up with Chris for Student Radio Awards videos need doing as well. So there's loads and loads of stuff. Well, although there's nothing penciled like imminently in my diary, it's all prep days or finishing off days, which is really annoying because working out how to budget for them is a nightmare. But anyway, I do feel like I'm properly back in this country now, and it doesn't feel like any time since we were just about to go to the Canaries, and it's like a month ago. I mean, that just blows my mind. Kind of need to slow it down a little bit, I think, for a week or two, so see if we can sort of even out these bumps a little bit. For the time being,
just enjoying the fact that it's a nice crisp blue autumn day.
Isn't it stunning in this light? It's great. I love it. I might actually cut this walk a little bit short and go and have some lunch, and then maybe come out this afternoon with the camera and the big lens, just because it's just a very nice day to take some photos, really. Had lunch at home, internet failed, so I did what I said and I've come back out with the big camera and taken some nice shots. And now I'm going to go home and hope the internet's back, otherwise I can't get a lot done. It's so unusual like that it drops out that you forget how reliant you are on it. But anyway, I think therefore I shall leave this vlog here. This is the end. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do hope you'll subscribe, and I hope that you'll be waiting upon next week's vlog, which will be in and around London, filming and doing various things. Until then, bye.
Toby